The future of AI sales. Best practices to adopt. AI sales has moved from hype to operating system. AI in sales used to be something vendors promised and leaders debated. Now it's something reps actually use, with 81% of sales teams investing in AI, and measurable performance gaps showing up between teams that adopt and teams that stall. The question isn't whether AI belongs in your motion, it's whether your motion is designed to use it responsibly and profitably. At the rep level, adoption is already mainstream. 73% of sellers report using AI in their daily workflows, saving 2 to 3 hours per day on routine work. And many companies report 200 to 300% ROI within 6 months. For SDR teams, that's not a marginal gain. It's new capacity to prospect deeper, run tighter follow-ups, and show up to calls with real context. In our work running outbound programs, we've learned the winners aren't the teams that use the most AI. They're the teams that redesign the sales engine so AI removes friction, humans handle judgment, and leaders can see clean attribution from activity to pipeline to revenue. Why AI Advantage shows up first in outbound and SDR. The strongest argument for AI in sales is simple. Performance correlation is already visible at scale. In Salesforce research, 83% of teams using AI grew revenue in the past year versus 66% of teams without AI. And adoption spans both fully implemented and experimenting teams under that same 81% investment umbrella. On the leadership side, executives aren't treating this like a side project. 95% say their organization uses AI in sales in some capacity, and 84% report using generative AI in sales in the past year. The implication is clear. Your competitors are already learning what works, building playbooks, and compounding the gains. Outreach is where AI compounds fastest because the work is repeatable and high volume. Account research, list building services, prioritization, email drafting, call prep, and post-call admin. Whether you run an internal SDR pod or partner with a B2B sales agency, the teams that win use AI to increase relevance and speed while protecting brand reputation and deliverability. Treat AI as a copilot, not an autopilot. The healthiest way to adopt AI is to design workflows where AI does the first pass and humans do the final pass. We like an 80-20 rule. AI handles the first 80% of the grunt work: research summaries, draft copy, scoring signals, and logging, while SDRs own the last 20% that requires context, taste, and judgment. That last mile is where your positioning stays consistent and your outreach feels human. This approach also aligns with what the economics suggest. McKinsey estimates generative AI can drive a 3 to 5% productivity lift as a share of total sales spend across use cases like lead development, personalization, and next best action guidance. The catch is that those gains show up when teams redesign work, not when they simply bolt a writing tool onto yesterday's SDR habits. Data quality is the gating factor, not model sophistication. Only 35% of sales pros say they completely trust their organization's data, and that distrust quietly kills adoption. Reps ignore AI scoring, managers distrust dashboards, and leadership can't prove ROI. Before you add more AI, make your CRM fields, lifecycle stages, and contact roles consistent enough for AI outputs to be believable. Implement AI with a 90-day pilot and a clean measurement plan. If you want adoption without chaos, start where latency hurts: SDR and top-of-funnel execution. Pick one beachhead use case, like outbound email personalization, call prep briefs for cold callers, or AI-powered meeting recap and follow-up, and run a controlled 90-day pilot with a small group. This keeps changes manageable and makes it obvious whether the tool is improving outcomes or just changing activity patterns. Define baselines before the pilot starts and measure outcomes that matter downstream. If you only track emails sent, you'll accidentally reward volume over quality and end up with more bad outreach instead of better outreach. The goal is to prove that AI helps you create more qualified conversations per hour, not more noise per inbox. Use a simple scorecard your RevOps and sales leaders can both trust and commit to weekly reviews so you can adjust prompts, filters, and sequences quickly. Here's a practical structure we use across outbound sales agency programs, including cold email agency and cold calling services engagements. AI should do the heavy lifting, but humans should own the message, the moment, and the decision. Best practices that make AI output feel human and perform better. Start by designing for relevance, not volume. A common failure mode is using AI to send 10x more generic outreach, which tanks deliverability and buries your team under low-quality replies. Instead, cap send volume based on reply quality and spam indicators, and use AI to tighten ICP filters, tailor openers, and adapt sequencing logic based on account signals. Use AI for personalization that preserves your positioning. Subject lines and send time optimization alone can lift performance. Some aggregated benchmarks show roughly a 21% average increase in B2B email open rates when teams use AI to improve subject lines and timing. Opens aren't the finish line, but they are a leading indicator that your message is getting a fair shot. Finally, keep humans responsible for strategy: the offer, the proof, the CTA, and the tone. Whether you're building an outsourced sales team or hiring in-house, you'll get better outcomes when AI inserts context: what changed at the company, what they're hiring for, what they care about, while your reps control the narrative, why it matters, and what to do next. Avoid the mistakes that quietly break AI sales programs. Tool sprawl is the fastest way to lose the room. Buying disconnected AI point tools without workflow design creates more tabs, more exports, and more confusion. Then, reps ignore the tools and leadership can't see ROI. Consolidate into the systems your team already lives in: CRM, engagement platform, dialer, and define exactly where AI triggers, what gets logged, and what a rep must review before anything touches a prospect. Skipping data governance is another silent killer. If territories, stages, and contact roles are inconsistent, AI scoring and routing will be inconsistent too, and reps will stop trusting it. Assign RevOps clear ownership, standardize required fields, dedupe aggressively, and review hygiene weekly until it sticks, especially if you run B2B cold calling services where speed can otherwise outrun accuracy. Don't frame AI as a threat to SDRs. If reps think AI exists to replace them, they'll work around it, sandbag adoption, or quietly revert to old habits. Position AI as a skill upgrade: less copy-paste, more account strategy, better conversations, and clearer promotion paths for reps who become fluent at prompting, verification, and multi-threading. Optimize the human plus AI loop: coaching, calling, and conversion. Once AI is doing more drafting and prioritization, SDR success can't be measured purely on activity. Shift KPIs toward high-intent conversations, qualified meetings held, progression rates, and pipeline created. Then, coach to the behaviors that drive those outcomes. This matters whether you hire SDRs internally or work with SDR agencies, because more dials is meaningless if the wrong accounts are being called. AI shines on calls when it makes reps sharper at the top of the conversation and faster after the conversation. Use it for call prep briefs that summarize the account, likely pains, and recent signals. Then, for after-call automation that logs notes and drafts follow-ups. When combined with disciplined enablement, it's why many teams report fast payback, like the 200 to 300% ROI within 6 months cited in AI for Sales tooling research. Coaching is where the compounding happens. Use conversation insights to identify which talk tracks correlate with meetings held and opportunities created, and then build prompt libraries that help reps generate better questions and cleaner summaries. Over time, your best reps stop being fast typers and become operators who can steer AI output while staying fully present with the buyer. What the future looks like and what to do next. The trajectory is clear. Generative AI is expected to handle up to 60% of seller tasks by 2028, largely the repetitive work that slows teams down. But the end state isn't AI closes deals, it's that sellers spend more time on discovery, stakeholder alignment, and deal strategy, while AI handles research, drafting, and documentation. At the same time, buyers are signaling they still want humans at key moments. Gartner projects that by 2030, 75% of B2B buyers will prefer sales experiences that prioritize human interaction over AI, which means you can't automate your way to trust. The winning organizations will be the ones that use AI to show up more prepared, more relevant, and more consultative, not more robotic. If you want to move faster without the trial and error, partnering can be a practical shortcut. At SalesHive, we've built our processes and platform around the human plus AI model, combining trained SDRs with AI-driven research, personalization, testing, and reporting so clients can ramp an outbound motion quickly through sales outsourcing. If you're evaluating a cold calling agency or sales development agency, the standard should be simple: clear workflow design, clean measurement, and a system that makes outreach better, not just faster.